The most news in the morning. CNN's American Morning. Weekday, 6 a.m. Eastern.
Defense Secretary Robert Gates is in Afghanistan visiting with U.S. ground troops who are trying to drive the Taliban out of Kandahar, but weeding out militants across the border in Pakistan. A much more complicated task. The U.S. now stepping up attacks on suspected terrorists there by launching Hellfire missiles from unmanned aerial drones. CNN national security analyst Peter Bergen is here with us this morning. Peter and a colleague from the New America Foundation have created an online interactive map of U.S. drone strikes in the region. We've loaded this, Peter, into our magic wall here. What did you find in terms of drone strikes between the Bush administration and the Obama administration?
Well, in the early years of the Bush administration, the sort of 2004, 2007 time frame when the drones started being targeted in Pakistan, you can see that there are relatively few of them.
Let's bring this up here for you.
North Waziristan, where Al-Qaeda was, a number of Al-Qaeda and the Taliban located, and then up north here, this is an area called Damadola. They tried to kill Ayman al-Zawahiri, the number 2 in Al-Qaeda, but you can see they're relatively few.
Right.
But it changes pretty dramatically by 2008.
Okay, well, let's take a look here. 2008, we'll bring up the number of drone strikes that there were in 2008.
Okay, you can see that there are many, many more, both in North and South Waziristan. In the second half of 2008, President Bush authorized, a considerable increase. And then, but when you hit 2009, you can see dramatic increase.
Okay, look at all this.
51 drone strikes under President Obama in 2009, 45 in the entire Bush administration. So President Obama's already done a lot more.
So who are they targeting with all of these drone strikes?
These are mostly Taliban leaders in the South Waziristan, North Waziristan, Al-Qaeda, and then
if we go
to 2010.
We'll go to 2010 and see the number of attacks as well.
Yeah,
here.
again, we've had 19 in 2010, mostly directed at sort of foreign militants in North Waziristan.
But there was a couple of significant hits, though, correct? Some
Yes.
Fairly large or prominent, at least, Taliban leaders who were hit in drone
This
strikes.
guy here.
Just give that a little pop like that.
Thank you. Abu Khabab al-Masri. Abu Khabab was in charge of Al-Qaeda's WMD program, killed in the summer of 2008, a fairly important Al-Qaeda leader. This guy, Osama al-Kini, was behind one of the guys behind the American embassy attacks in Africa that killed more than 200 people, killed in the dying days of the Bush administration.
And this was a big one over here, this strike.
Yeah, Bayatullah Masood, the leader of the Pakistani Taliban, responsible for hundreds of people being killed in Pakistan, sending suicide bombers into Afghanistan, died in the summer of 2009.
So when you take a look at all of these drone strikes here, Peter, one of the criticisms has been, one of the controversies about the drone strikes, and let's just bring up 2010 so we can see for folks at home just exactly how many strikes there have been so far this year. Civilian casualties as well, and you hear different stories from each side. What did you find out in your research?
Well, based on reliable media reporting, we found that the overall rate has been about 32%. And under President Obama, the number's gone down to 24%. Now, there's a debate, whether is that too many? Is that, given the fact that you're killing a lot of people who've also killed civilians, is that sort of okay? We just wanted to put out a relatively good information. Some people have claimed that it was 98% civilian casualties. Some other people have said they're almost none. So we were just trying to put some information out there to try and give people some information to make a decision. Is this legal? Is this moral? Is this ethical?
Just for folks at home, what I've done here is I've just layered all of the drone attacks on top of each other.
Right.
How did you determine the veracity of these reports about these drone attacks?
We used, CNN, New York Times, Washington Post, major Pakistani news organizations have very aggressive reporting capabilities. These aren't secrets. When a missile drops out of the sky, kills people,
But it was independent reporting.
Independent reporting. And then we sort of looked at all of them, and then we assembled. These are 115 drone strikes since the program began.
Now, this has provoked outrage in Pakistan. There's been controversy in the international community about it as well. Some people see this as nothing short of assassination. It's just you do it from the sky with a Predator drone firing a missile at somebody, and you kill a bunch of people. Why is it a useful tool for the United States in going after
Well,
themselves?
here's the border.
Given the controversy.
Here's Afghanistan. When American soldiers have come over the border, the Pakistanis have gone ballistic and done a huge amount of pushback. So the 82nd Airborne is not going to go into North Waziristan unless there's a massive attack in Manhattan. So the drones are really the only tool in the toolkit. It is unpopular in Pakistan. There are civilian casualties, but also there are senior militant leaders are being killed.
The fact that there have been, we take a look here at the number of strikes since 2004 to 2007 versus the number of strikes in 2004, 2007 alone. What does that say about the cooperation of Pakistani intelligence in trying to locate these militants and give the U.S. a target to go after?
Oh, I think the cooperation recently has been particularly good, partly because certainly in the 2009 timeframe, which killing Bayatullah Masood, the leader of the Pakistani Taliban, American interests and Pakistani interests are sort of more closely aligned. So right now the Pakistani government isn't saying what it used to say, which is we don't like this program and it's wrong.
Yeah, and now of course we're finding again those captures in Karachi that we were talking to you about yesterday.
Yes.
Peter, it's a fascinating look and great research.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations putting it all together. By the way, you can see the map online at counterterrorism.newamerica.net/drones. I know it's a handful. You can also go on newamerica.net and you can find a link to it.